Yeah, so we're just going to talk about anything, really.
Okay, go
Yeah.
on. You start the subject. What's
Okay, I'll start a subject. We're recording at the moment. Okay, since we're going to do a movie, name a couple of movies you liked to watch when you were growing up and stuff.
Oh, when I was growing up, I used like Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
I always loved comic movies. So Superman is one of my favorites, and Spider Man. I love the Spider Man. I don't know what other movies I can't think of. Oh, I used to love watching Friday because I was a big stoner. Friday was always funny. Have a couple of cones and put Friday on. That was always mad. It was my relaxing. When I was married, I used to chill out to that. Just have a couple of cones and just watch Friday. That was pretty cool. Funny shit. But yeah, that's all I can think of really. I don't have. I used to actually. Funny story. When I used to go to when there was video stores, I used to go to the video store. And every time I'd rent a movie, they'd be like, "Oh, you've rented this before." And I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, I know, but I didn't remember." Because that's how I view movies used to view them as relaxing time. So I never really took note of what I was watching in this and that. And then I'd put it on and be like, "Oh, fuck, I have seen this before." So, yeah, so that sort of shit. So, yeah, that doesn't really say any of my favourites. But, yeah, I'd say Pulp Fiction is one of my favourites. What other movies can I think of? I can't. Yeah. Anyway, next question.
Yeah, I like Pulp Fiction as well. Yeah, like fuck, talk about renting videos, man. Renting videos.
Renting videos.
Going to Blockbuster or something.
Huh?
Blockbuster. Where did you go to?
I used to go to Blockbuster.
Yeah.
And then, actually, now my brother just downloads a lot of shit. So, and now streaming is the whole new thing. So, everyone's streaming. What else? I was just thinking of a movie. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I can't remember. I just lost it.
Well, what about any movies more recent?
More recent? Actually, I watched a good movie just last couple of weeks ago. It was 4 Good Days. It was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool movie. It was about this heroin addict, and she was like went to see her mum and this and that. And her mum, she's stolen off her mum many times. It's pretty weird. It was just, I like the drug movies because, kind of in my past, and it sort of, it opens up your eyes. Now that I've been clean for a long time, it opens up my eyes to see the other side of, the whole family business, how you're not just hurting yourself, you're hurting everyone. It's pretty, those sort of things really get me, I guess. Now that I'm getting older, I like a lot of realistic movies, drama, like the real drama, real life movies. None, when I was younger, I used to love a lot of action movies, but now I'm getting older and a bit, calmer, I guess. And yeah, I just like to watch reality shit, really. Yeah. So.
No, it's good for me to hear. Like I've calmed down a lot.
Huh?
I've calmed down a lot. Yeah.
You have? Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, I was pretty cool. I got out of jail 4 years ago and been clean since. I do have my dabbles here and there, once every 3-4 months. So I guess that's probably because I don't really have many other things. And yeah, and other than that, I used to be pretty cooked. When I was on the drugs, I was cooked as fuck, man. Yeah. And considering, if you had known me then, I'm a different person now. So yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Because I don't think a lot of people talk about calming when you mature.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Yeah. So it's good to hear it. So,
It is. I have become a lot of people that talk to me now knew me before. They're like, wow, you're not even the same person anymore. Yeah. So I guess I've become more grateful for a lot of things, And actually, I have this story. When I was on drugs, I got hit by a car and I ended up in hospital. So, and I'm thinking, oh shit, I need to get back home. And I got out of my bed. I had my leg ripped open. I got out of my bed and I go downstairs and I'm thinking, I've got to get out of here. And then I found the little church place. There's a little church, a little praying room down at the bottom of the hospital. And I saw this book and I started to read it. And I saw these people and they were like, oh, I'm so thankful for my parents, this and that. And that's when it came to me, fucking, I'm being a selfish little cunt. I got more talent in my pinky than a lot of people do in their whole body. And I thought, I've just been living my life like a selfish little prick, man. there was a realization. I had a moment then. It was an epiphany, I guess. I had a real moment then, and it just
It's like you one found the schoolyard and stayed in the schoolyard.
Sorry.
It's like what I got told one time. Like you found the schoolyard with all your friends.
Yeah.
And you stayed there.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Well, yeah. Well, I guess what spun me off is when I got divorced. You know, I lost my identity. I guess I was a great husband and a great father, and when I got divorced, I lost that. You know, I kind of lost my identity, and I kind of lost my way a little bit. So, and yeah, that's what really led me into the drugs, I guess. So, yeah, yeah, but
that makes a lot of sense.
yeah, yeah, it's true. I saw someone talking about it the other day, like saying, "Oh, that when he got divorced and he lost his identity," that's when I realised that, yeah, that's kind of the same thing that happened to me. It's like, yeah, I mean, I spent all my time being a good husband and father, and then when I got kicked out because of that stupid bitch, because my ex-wife was just insecure. Yeah, I lost my way. I lost who I was for a little bit.
You mentioned about playing video games and all that. So that's
Yeah.
something I used to do. Like something I've done to help relax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love playing video games. I avoided buying a PlayStation for a long time because I thought, you know, it's a real trap. You do lose 3-4 hours when you start. So I waited until I just got one this Christmas, because when I got out of jail 4 years ago, I literally had one backpack full of clothes, and I've started my life again, and yeah, and now I'm ready to buy a house and this and that. So I've come a long way, and I was putting off buying a PlayStation, and I finally got one at Christmas, and yeah, I do lose a couple of hours.
Yeah.
I'm realising that. It does consume a bit of time, and I do love it. I have to. And sometimes I'm like, fuck, I've got to quit. My show's coming on. My TV show's coming on. I'm like, yeah, okay, full up now. I'll turn it off now. I just got to do some parts and this and that. Yeah, but yeah, it consumes a bit of your life. But I do love it. It is relaxing, and it takes you to another world. I like that about it. I like that about it. That you go somewhere else you go on a journey. It takes you on a journey, and that's the thing about it.
I like when I was a kid, I loved playing them.
Yeah.
When I started misbehaving myself, I kind of lost it for a bit.
Yeah.
Then it helped, because when I got off the junk and all that, it helped fill out the time. Sort of thing.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, that's how I got back into it and stuff. Cool. So some good old days. Is there any subjects you want to talk about?
Oh, no, not really.
Okay,
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, I didn't put. I'm like, that's fucking rock up. I didn't think of it.
Is this how you do it?
Just rock up. Put a camera. But normally these podcasts, it's one every couple of weeks. I just get the phone out and just talk whatever about.
And where do you post that?
On YouTube, this one. It's just something just
for your time.
Yeah, just whatever. Have you heard of a guy called Bill Burr?
Bill Burr.
The comedian.
The name rings a bell, but I don't know what he does.
Yeah, he's a comedian. If I showed you a picture of him,
I'd probably know him.
Yeah, he does his random podcast.
Yeah.
As well, and that's how he does it. He was doing one with Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan, yeah, I've heard of Joe Rogan too.
And Joe's like, I really like your podcast. Like, how you doing?
Bill Burr. You know what? That's my thing on the weekends. Saturday is my comedy night. I call it comedy night because I always watch Live at the Apollo. Yeah. So I have heard the name Bill Burr, and I'm sure I've seen him. Yeah. But I can't remember his face.
He's really funny. He's really good. I'm a fan. I put it like that. He goes, he's responsible. I'm like, crazy, man. I just got a microphone in the corner and just talking for like 45 minutes.
Yeah. Some people have the gift of the gab.
Yeah, that's what he does. Yeah.
And some people are good at talking. I'm pretty reserved these days. Mm-hmm. When I was cooked, I'd talk about anything. People tell me shut up all the time, and I'm like, now I'm pretty relaxed and calm and know how to hold the conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But yeah, that's just where I got the idea, because I kind of started doing it when COVID was happening too. So I I couldn't do the projects. I couldn't get people out. I couldn't do this a lot. So I just felt kind of not that I was wasting it, but I could make to fund me wise how to put
Yeah,
this
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I like the way you write though too.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, it's because I'm very short and I'm very quick and blunt with my words. Like sometimes when I had my own business, I used to give my brother to write letters when people owed me money because I'd be like, "Where's my fucking money?" And that's it. Whereas he'd be like, "Oh no, we've done the job, this and that," you know. So
Yeah.
he knows how to I guess express himself, and I'm just like short, quick, just straight to the point, kind of. Yeah. Bill,
Yeah.
I'm
Bill
stuck
Burr.
on the Bill Burr. I'm sure I've seen it. I've been watching a lot of the past couple of years. I've been watching a lot of comedy. Actually, went to a comedy show in Edmore. Anyway, I've always wanted to go to see the Just for Laughs. I'm still keen. I still want to do it. I want to get. I see a lot of Just for Laughs in the Opera House, and I'm thinking, fuck, why can't I see? I want to see how I get a ticket to that. I want to go. Would be pretty cool. And I've done some singing lately.
Yeah.
I've got a mate who plays guitar, and I've tried a bit of singing lately. So I've been trying different things in my life. As I get older, I just think life is short. Might as well just try a couple of things. It, if you like it or you don't like it, if it works out, if it doesn't work out, just you gotta just live. You have to live your life. Like even my mate, I'm saying to him, he's ringing me last week. What are you doing? Come over this thing. I'm like, I'm gonna meet this dude to do some filming, and he's like, oh, don't worry about that. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm just having a couple of drinks. Like, and I'm thinking, oh well, this maybe this guy didn't show up today, but I'm still trying to do something with my life. Fill my life, fill my days, the rest of my life with something that meaningful. Maybe not meaningful to anyone else, but to me, like that's the main thing. Like it's giving me purpose. It's making me happy. Like, well, he didn't show up, but maybe life happened. Life happens. Life is what happens while you're busy doing things. That's what I say. And while you're busy making plans. And I just thought he's like, oh, don't worry about it. All this and that. I'm like, well, maybe something happened. I don't know. Like shit happens. Like I said, shit happens. you know.
Yeah, as it turned out, I mean,
That's all right.
So, yeah.
He didn't do it on purpose, and
Yeah.
like it's not like you flaked out. You just accidentally made a mistake.
Yeah.
And that's life. And yeah. And my mate told me back when I was younger, he goes, forgiveness is the key to wisdom, and I truly understand what he's saying now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well, I could have hated you, and when you sent me a message that Saturday, I was like, ah, fuck this cunt, this man. And I thought, well, you've made a mistake. These things happen, and like, I just thought I did come a long way, and I was a little upset, but I just thought something happened, and something did happen. It was honest mistake. It's not like you purposely let me down,
No.
and I get that. I'm 48 now. I know life happens. A simple mistake like that can happen, and to hold a grudge is like drinking poison and hoping to kill someone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that too, yeah.
It just makes no sense. So yeah, I thought I'd give it another go. Well, and plus I was a lot more nervous last week, just to do this thing because I'm a novice, inexperienced, and this is a mutual benefit. Like it's going to help me have a show reel as well. So that's another reason I came. It's not just for you.
Yeah,
I know you felt bad and this and that, but shit happens, and that was last week, by the way.
Yeah, no, yeah.
This is a whole new week.
Yeah.
A whole new episode.
So what got you into acting and all that? So?
What got me into acting? I don't know. I've always thought, I've always thought I got a bit of a look. I think I'm pretty fucking good looking. By the way, I've got small tickets on myself. Always have, and I tried it out and I liked it. When I did the extras work a year ago, I really enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed the people. I enjoyed watching people work, like the cameramen and this that, and appreciate what they do. And then I thought I'd give it a go, and I enjoyed it. The first time I did it, I enjoyed it, and I thought I'd just keep going with it. Just give it a go. Like I said, life is short. You have to, and I'm trying to fill my life with something that I like. And I'm very jealous of people that do movies because I see the passion they have for it. Like I mentioned to this guy, one of the producers, the director to the last one. I said, "Oh, I have an idea for a movie," and he goes, and he sent me all these things, and you got to do this and do that, and I just thought, wow, you know, you have to have a passion to do it. Like, it takes a lot. It's a lot of work, and people only see like what you see on screen is 5% of the amount of work. And and I appreciate that part of it, and I just thought, wow, yeah, I appreciate the passion that you have for it.
Yeah, that's the thing. This guy called his name is Jonah Makers, and he I think what decade? I think it was it would have been the '60s. He got his when Super 8s came popular and all that.
Yeah.
And he got it as a gift. I can't remember what for. Somebody bought it for him.
Yeah.
And he realised that he only ended up the first time one of the first few times he used it. He realised he only filmed 15 minutes of his day. And he kind of that struck him. Like he thought everyone's got 24 hours a day.
Yeah, that's right.
And he just thought to himself, wow, he only did 15 minutes worth of life that he thought was worth filming.
Yeah.
And that got him thinking. And he ended up having this great career that he documented like Andy Warhol when he was living in New York.
Oh, yeah?
Pop artist, and filmed all his
Who was his name again?
Jonas Makers.
Jonas Makers.
His family's from Scandinavia, but he was living in New York.
Okay.
And he ended up filming a bunch of modern writers who became successful, and because he had footage of them, the government bought like a bunch of footage from him and historical things in New York City and all that in the 60s and 70s and 80s and all this other stuff. He went out and because if it wasn't for trying to find things to film and things to do, he would never have a career in film and all that. Yeah, but he ended up filming a bunch of it, like historical figures in New York City.
I had an idea for a movie. Maybe you could do a movie called Uber. I mean, you know, I like it. Have you ever seen that movie with Madonna, 4 Rooms?
No.
It's 4 Rooms. Check it out. It's this movie. You know, I like movies that have like different stories to it. Like there's like sometimes they put 5 different stories in one movie. This movie's called 4 Rooms. And anyway, I had an idea to do a movie called Uber because the Uber driver, I'm sure he entails a couple of funny scenarios. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like there'd be some weird scenarios you'd come across with being an Uber driver. So yeah, I thought that'd be a good idea. So you can keep that.
No, it's all right.
You know,
as long as
I don't want it. I'm not going to do anything with it.
Okay.
I'm just like the little background ideas man.
It's up for grabs.
Up for grabs, free for all.
Yeah.
But just mention my name if it becomes famous. Yeah, but you know, I like those movies where there's different stories. I like Rock and Roller was a good movie. Rock and Roller. But going back, changing subject back to the beginning. You know, remember that Rock and Roller movie with it's like the guy that what's his name? Guy Ritchie. Yeah, Guy Ritchie. Yeah, I did a film not long ago with one of these uni students. He did a film called Fresh Cuts. It had the Guy Ritchie feel to it. It was pretty cool, man. It was really good. I liked it. I wish I had a copy of it. I keep asking him, but he's like, "No, it's going to film festivals and this that." Yeah. I don't. Why do they do that?
Withhold copies.
Yeah.
It's the film festivals are so stringent. Like Tropfest, right? For example, will own your if your film gets accepted.
Yep.
They'll own your film intellectually for 1 year minimum.
Right. Okay. So that's why he can't give out a copy.
Yeah, it loses value if the film festival, if that makes sense. If everyone else,
if it's all out there, okay.
Sort of thing.
Right. Yeah. I get it. So it's a money thing, really.
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course, yeah. But once it's out on the copy, you should get your own.
Yeah.
Once it's out on the copy, it's a normal practice.
And that's the thing I find with the movies. You do all this work, and you don't see any of it, or even hear anything of it for about a year, 2 years.
Yeah.
That's really weird. Like a lot of my friends were like, "Oh, show us some of the movies you've been in." I'm like, I haven't got any copies of any of them.
It's also like a good timestamp too.
Like a what?
A good timestamp of your life as well.
Yeah. I can imagine. Yeah, I like that. I like that about it. It's good. And it just shows that there's a lot of work that goes into it. Even the editing, like the first film that I did a year ago, it's still not even finished the editing. I just think sometimes you have a lot of projects, I could imagine, and shit gets put on the back burner. You know what I mean? And I don't think he was happy with the way it turned out too. So I mean, that's another factor. Like everything you do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything you do
Yeah.
probably doesn't ever come out or ever get finished. Because
My first movie that I ever worked on
Yeah.
was got a screen.
Yeah.
It was talking about Northern Beaches bubble. It was filmed towards Palm Beach. I did that movie 2013.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it.
Haven't seen
don't know
it.
what happened. I don't know where it is.
Well, that's the thing. This
and
is
it's like 10 years ago.
yeah, 10 years ago. Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
You just think artists and some artists are just. To be a true artist is to be a bit of a flake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
Filmed it. It took a month. It was each day, 5 days a week. Each day was at least 12 hours.
Yeah.
It was the graveyard shift. Everything. Half the cast and crew slept at the site instead of going back and forth.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
It's great. That's what I love about it. It's so.
Yeah.
There's so many different. There's so many different personas on set. That's the bit I love about being in the industry. Like, oh, I'm not really in the industry, but that's what's drawing me to it. Like, the people that are different, they're just so eccentric. I love that about them. It's like, if you're a normal cunt, I don't get along with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I fit in. I fit in nicely with the weird crowd. I guess.
Yeah. Talking about comedy, have you heard of a bloke called Tim Dillon?
Tim Dillon, no.
No? That's what you just said just reminded, like, I was listening to one of his interviews the other day, and what you just said just reminded me about how, when he got to comedy,
Yeah.
he said he knew how to be poor before he could do anything,
Yeah.
but when he tried to have a normal life,
Yeah.
he couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And he said his first ever stand-up gig was at this tattoo cafe place. You knew you were doing your jokes were bad if you could hear the tattoo needle buzzing,
Yeah.
and they felt normal to me.
Yeah.
And like, and that's what he says he liked it, because if you find people you like, just go with that.
Yeah, that's right. That's I found my crowd. That's what I like about it. And like I said, my mate's like, "Oh fuck, you're weird." I said, "Listen, cunt, I wouldn't be hanging out with you if I was normal, because you're not normal, and that's probably why we get along. And normal cunts just don't get me. Normal cunts just don't get me. End of story."
How much audio have you got? So far we're going good. 22 minutes and 30 seconds.
That's pretty good.